Have you ever been a victim at Family Dollar or Dollar General? Like they're
Yes.
charging way more than you should have been charged. Well, you are not alone. So a handful of Family Dollar stores and two Dollar Generals in North Carolina have been fined by the state's Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services Standards Division for
Mm.
price scanning errors just in the last quarter of 2024. So that would be October, November, December.
Wow.
And of the 14 total locations, 8 were Family Dollar stores, and 2 of those stores had been fined multiple times for overcharging customers.
Hmm.
So this is just crazy to me. Now, first, keep in mind that Family Dollar is actually owned by the same corporation that owns Dollar Tree. Okay.
Right.
And then Dollar General is its own separate company. So they're kind of lumping these two together because they have similar stores. And I apparently have something in my eye, so I'm just crying from one eyeball. We'll keep going. But I know it's bizarre. But anyway, so
I'm
what I
used to
found
it.
really interesting here, so all of these dollar stores, if you will, were hit with a total of $55,000 in fines. And that's actually relatively low
Yeah.
because just in the last year, Family Dollar settled with Ohio for $400,000. They also agreed that moving forward, when price tags are created, at least two different people must ensure that the intended shelf price and the intended charge price match. Family Dollar said it would also provide adequate time and staffing for employees to replace price tags and would conduct more thorough regular audits. Well, that was Family Dollar, okay?
Right.
I don't actually have a Family Dollar anymore. When it was bought out by Dollar Tree, they actually changed our Family Dollar into a Dollar Tree, but
Gotcha.
very similar business model to a Dollar General. And I live in, out in the boonies, so we have 17 Dollar Generals within a 5 mile radius. And
Yeah.
I can tell you, you cannot walk into any of them and go, oh, this store is well stocked. This store has
That.
plenty of employees. Oh, I definitely agree with all the prices that are listed because, I mean, they are just not well maintained.
Yeah.
And, I kind of joke that maybe they should finish staffing all of the Dollar Generals that we have before we start building more of them.
Yeah.
But, I mean, how do you say that you're going to provide adequate time and staffing when you obviously can't? I mean, there are times I can't even walk down the aisles of Dollar General because they've got these big carts on there that are just full of product that, the shelves are dang near empty.
Right. There's when you're running on a skeleton crew constantly. We're talking one to maybe two employees. You see
Yeah.
one. That one's at the register and kind of close by. And
Yeah.
then occasionally you'll see a second one kind of dip in and out of things. That's it. I don't know if I've ever walked into a Dollar General and seen more than two employees. If I did, everything's on fire. But like nothing's ever stocked. And like if you're changing prices so frequently that the two employees you do have can't keep up with your price adjustments to make sure your shelves are up to date, then you're not stocking well enough. You're not staffing well enough. You need more staff to accommodate the customers and the merchandise.
Well, I am one of those people that I am so picky about what apps I put on my phone because
Yeah.
I'm usually like pushing the limit of storage on my phone. So I have to like really need an app, but I can tell you that I always have the Dollar General app on my phone because I do go to it frequently because it's one of my only options.
Yeah.
But they actually have a scanner where you can scan anything in store and it'll tell you what it'll ring up as. And so I've seen plenty of times where what, what it rings up at is completely different than what's on the shelf.
Yeah.
And my issue with Dollar General is more of sometimes they have signs up saying that something is on sale, especially they do a lot of like soda deals or laundry soap deals or even like shampoo and conditioner where
Yeah.
it's a sale in their weekly ad. And then when you get up to the store, it doesn't ring up correctly. It's not a
That part's
coupon issue,
crazy.
it's not anything like that. And then it's funny because Dollar General made a statement saying that they're committed to providing customers with accurate prices on items purchased in their store, and we are disappointed anytime we fail to meet this commitment. They also mentioned that when a pricing discrepancy is identified, our store teams are empowered to correct the matter immediately for our customers. Well, I can tell you that that's not true. Okay. I have had the joy of arguing with somebody because I can show them in their sales flyer. These are what it says. And they're like, oh, sorry, can't help you. And I have even spoken to like a regional manager of Dollar General because something was repeatedly not ringing up correctly.
Yeah.
So,
It's they're too big for the britches. It kind of like
yeah.
we're talking about an oversaturation
Mhm.
of locations when
When
we
like
talk about like
Trader
grocery
Joe's,
stores. Right.
yeah,
And with Starbucks, how that, kind of threw a full monkey wrench into the way that they did things, the way they set up stores in like highly densely populated areas and then tried to translate that into suburban. And they ended up shutting all those stores down that they opened up to try to capture that market. That market wasn't there. They
yeah,
were already hitting that one store to begin with. So, like, I think Family Dollar starts to fall into that area where, and Dollar General for that matter, fall into that area of overpopulating in areas where, yeah, they're needed. But at the same time, like, if you can't provide good service, why bother?
exactly. If you can't do the job well, then don't do it at all. Because
Yeah.
I would agree that in a lot of instances, especially in rural areas, if you don't have the time or the means, like the actual transportation to get to a Walmart or a grocery store, your only option may be a Dollar General. And most
Right.
of them you'll notice are actually very close to residential neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And I've known people that they have no transportation. They cannot get to a grocery store on a regular basis, but they can walk to Dollar General and buy groceries. There's a lot of Dollar Generals now that are called DG markets where they actually
Right.
sell fresh fruits and vegetables and
Yeah.
bread and, essentials. And that may be your only option. That Dollar General is what keeps you from truly living in a food desert. So
Right.
I get that. I get that as a whole, I appreciate their prices and I appreciate the fact that I can go get what I need without having to go to fully to Walmart. So
Right.
I'm not hating on Dollar General at all. I'm just stating that maybe similar to when I said that Kroger should go look back at themselves and make some changes. I think Dollar General needs to really put their customer first and say, in order to give our customers the best experience, we need to make sure that these stores are well stocked, that our
Yeah.
prices are accurately displayed, that
Yeah.
we have enough employees to cover the stocking and making sure that our price integrity is correct. And because, I mean, some of these fines that they were paying um, is crazy. Like, they paid out in November 2023 to Wisconsin, they paid out 850,000. To New Jersey, they paid 1.2 million. Um, Dollar General settled with Ohio for 1 million.
Yeah.
These are not like the $55,000 in North Carolina is very small, but some of these
It's
other
meager.
areas is
Yeah.
very large, and it's going to add up because when you are overcharging a customer in Wisconsin, odds are good you're overcharging them everywhere
Oh,
because
for sure.
corporate makes these changes. Each individual store doesn't make these changes. The Dollar General on the corner doesn't decide all of a sudden that they're going to start charging a different price for something. No,
Right.
they get an email from corporate saying, hey, here's your list of all your price updates. You need to go do it.
Yeah.
And so
And with what manpower? With what
with what
people?
manpower? Yeah, because I mean, I've known people that worked at Dollar General, and all they talk about is as soon as a store starts showing promise or starts improving areas, all of a sudden their hours get cut and they can't maintain it. And
I
they're
don't understand.
always hiring. I've never been to a Dollar General that did not have a "We are hiring" sign.
Right. And
So,
from what I saw in their range of pay is it's
did you say
meager at
a
best.
cashier starts at like $8 an hour?
It's between 8 and 13. So I imagine if you come in with a boatload of experience, you might get closer to 13, or depending on where your store is located. Because if your
I was
store
gonna say
is
it's
in a,
probably more dependent on where the store is.
that,
And then didn't you say an assistant manager only made like $19,000 a year? That's
yeah,
it.
it was seven. The max out for an assistant store manager was $17 an hour. $17 an hour, even at like they said it was approximately 19,000 a year, and I'm like, what's
But
the
you know
math?
what's crazy is when we graduated high school. So we're talking about the year 2000. If
Yep.
somebody offered you a job back in 2000, right out of high school,
Yeah.
and told you were going to make $17 an hour, you'd been like, "Oh my god, I hit the lottery." I'm
Yeah, the
serious.
cost
You would have
the
been.
cost of living is so different. Like we could fill
Yeah,
up our whole tank for like $7. So
yeah.
like
But it's
19,
funny because to me, it doesn't feel like that much time has elapsed
yeah,
from, because we're talking that was 25 years ago.
yeah,
And just how much the value of money has changed because 25 years ago, $17 an hour would have been like, oh my God, we made it.
yeah,
And then now, $17 an hour is below the poverty level.
yeah.
That's
Based
insane.
on cost of living, cost of goods, cost of you couldn't like I like I'm the amount of money I probably spend. I mean, 20 grand is a mortgage payment. For a
Yeah,
lot of Americans, 20 grand is their mortgage for their house, and that's it.
yeah.
And that's probably putting it nicely, honestly. Like,
Yeah. And so, I mean, I'm just saying that so you demand so much of your employees to keep up with price changes, keep up with stocking, on a reduced set of hours.
yeah,
And these people are barely, above poverty, if at all.
yeah,
I mean, I'm just saying, I feel like they're asking a lot of the employees they don't even have.
that part. The employees they don't have, and then they're exploiting, hardcore exploiting the employees they do have.
Yeah.
So you can't blame people when you set them up to fail.
Yeah. But this also goes to show that if you regularly shop at stores like Dollar General and Family Dollar, you need to know that if you find a discrepancy, you need to tell them, you know, your corporation said that you were going to fix this. And if you don't, I'm going to report it. Because that's how the attorney generals for each of these states get involved, is because consumers are reporting the issue. And so
Yeah,
the only way to truly get this to stop is to report the issue because we all kind of experienced it, but how often are we actually reporting it? And most attorney generals have a website where you can just fill out like a consumer
yeah,
information card, and it's just a quick email, and then boom, they'll go ahead and investigate it.
yeah. And especially if you find that, like, I understand that errors happen. I understand that mistakes happen. If they're correcting it in the moment, that's definitely one thing. But if it's habitual, if it's
Yeah, if it's
consistent,
happening multiple times, if it's yeah,
because it's not the corporation that's going to feel the wrath of all this. Like
no, it's
all
the
of that's
employees.
going to come down on the employees. So like it's a fine line for me, I guess. If it's habitual, it's something you're dealing with constantly, then it's something that needs to be addressed at a higher level, anyways.
And
But
then the same token, though, too, is that you do have to recognize that it's not necessarily the employee's fault. They're
yeah,
not the ones that change the price.
yeah,
They're given, they're basically told what to do. So I always go in with kindness and I say,
yeah,
oh, wait a minute, I don't think that came out right. It says here in the paper it should be this price, da da da.
yeah,
And then if they argue with me, you always have the choice to say, you know what, please remove that. I don't want that item. If it's not going to
that,
ring up for the sale price, I don't want that item.
yeah,
And then you could then contact the store. And then if it happens multiple times, then definitely report it. I wouldn't just every time willy nilly, because then
no,
we would have no stores at all because all stores
well,
make mistakes.
yeah, we've kind of gotten to a point though where people's expectations are like perfection nonstop, and that every it's it's a balance. It's a balance
Well,
between knowing when things are a habitual problem and need to be addressed at a higher level and like a one-off mistake.
I will say though that people are very bad about looking at their receipts. Okay.
Yeah.
I do not even leave a store until I've looked at a receipt because I know that the odds are good once I reach my vehicle, especially if I get in my car and I go all the way home,
Yeah.
the odds of me going back and getting something corrected are slim to none. So
Yep.
I check it before I even leave the store. Like I pull over to the side. I'm not, disrupting anybody. I quickly glance through. If anything needs to be fixed, get taken care of right away. But I can tell you that certain, almost every store, every grocery store I've been to, Walmart, anywhere, they
Yeah.
all charge wrong prices all
Oh,
the
for
time.
sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that people just don't pay attention,
No.
just don't pay attention at all. And I don't know if it's just because we've kind of been fed into that, oh, everything costs more, everything, is inflation, everything's going up, that we don't really pay attention. But I'm telling you, you've got to start looking at your receipts. You've got to start telling these companies this is not ringing up right because
Yeah.
it's not going to stop until enough people complain about it.
No, I think it's a great reminder for us to be vigilant when it comes to what the price is listed and what you're being charged. And then in certain instances, like I like that Target allows you also to scan the prices of things, but if it's cheaper on their website, they'll match it for you. So
See, I like that
that's
too.
that I love
They all,
because I've come across books that are $3 cheaper on their app than they are in the store. And no questions asked, not a problem. They have a button for it that says Target Online. So, like, I do love that. That makes me happy.
well, I will say that if I will not download an app for a store
Mhm.
unless it has the ability to scan.
Yeah.
And Lowe's, for one, my husband goes to Lowe's all the time, and he actually downloaded the app because it said it has a price scanner. Well, it's a price scanner based on basically it's like the online version of their website. It's not a
Oh.
true app because when you scan something, it could be on sale at your location, but it still will show you the regular price. Like it's useless.
Well,
Absolutely useless.
and the reverse of that is often often true. So if you and that's where it comes in handy is yeah, the online price, like say vanities are on sale online, but they're not on sale in the store and they do a price match to their own website, like it still has some value. It's just annoying that it doesn't pick up the local sale. It should if you
Well,
have the
it
right location set up.
always, but we consistently scan stuff, and like 8 out of 10 items, it does not give you a true price.
Mm.
So it's kind of like, what's the point?
Yeah, that's fair.
So, anywho, so Dollar
Check your
General and
receipts
Family Dollar, do better
and check your receipts.
and check your receipts.